Don't fight the platform, hack it with Santiago from the Electric Factory and Creative Innovation Company. And we have Craig from Meta here to tell us how to hack the platform. Santiago and Craig, coming up.
Should everyone clear out first?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's wait there. Okay.
Great. Hello? Fantastic. Hi everyone, my name is Craig. I'm a Client Solutions Manager at Meta in the UK. And I'm here to talk to you today on AR in the... Should we wait?
Yeah, wait. Let's wait a minute. Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Fantastic. Great.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Craig. I'm a Client Solutions Manager at Meta. And I'm here to talk to you today on AR within the Meta ecosystem, share a couple of prominent examples of what's working, and really discuss on how both brands and people can really benefit from leaning into AR on the Meta platforms. So I do feel really lucky to be here today. AR is one of my favorite features on our platform, and it's something that I use and my friends use and my family use regularly. So yeah, I really think there's a lot to be said here. I'd like to start with saying, something I often say to my clients when they say, can AR actually deliver the goals and deliver the objectives that we need for our campaigns? And for that I say, AR is no longer new, and it's been in this space for a while, and it's now a natural and organic part of people's online experience on the platform. Not only this, but it's not only just used for promotions anymore. It's not only just used for special events, but it's now becoming a part of people's everyday experience and best practice on the platform for all advertisers. And what's great is the numbers around AR reflect this. So around 800 million people globally use AR on our platform every month, and around 74% of people surveyed say they see AR as a way to bridge the online and offline worlds. And AR market is growing substantially from over and is expected to reach 330 billion by 2028, and that's up from 16 billion in just 2020, so phenomenal growth within the space. And one reason for this growth is, and I'm probably preaching to the choir here, is that the gap between expectations and capabilities of AR has drastically closed. AR is now a value source of information, a value source of experience for people on the platform, and it's gone from what before was seen as almost a gimmick, but now is a real substantial part of people's online daily experiences. And this has only been accelerated by the growth in mobile technologies and what mobile technology can actually deliver on the platform, allowing people to jump into AR from various different ways, from QR codes to click to AR ads to organic discovery through Instagram and apps like that. In fact, almost half the people in the US have said that they would like to experience and play with products and try products through AR before they purchase. And for advertisers, AR can actually provide fantastic opportunities at all stages of the purchase funnel. So from the upper funnel stage, where AR can be used to create emotional connections with customers and reinforce product positioning and brand affinity, all the way through to the lower funnel stage, where people can try and test products, and that can lead to increased consideration and increased conversions of it, all of which are essential for advertising on the platform today. And the best way for advertisers to engage and develop good AR is to work with a partner. And this is something I can personally vouch for, and we're going to see in a few slides coming up. Working with companies like the Electric Factory, companies and brands can get the best advice on what AR works for their campaign at any given moment. And all good AR starts with one thing, and that's with value for people. Through providing, so one example of that could be providing utility. So we can see that with the BMW example that's on stage now, where users can really experience the car as if they were in the showroom. They can look at the inside of the car and look at the interior, try out the technology, but they can also experience the outside of the car. Another way is through beauty and fashion, where people can use the functionality of their phone and the camera to try out things like sunglasses, makeup, and fashion accessories, all the way through to entertainment, which we can see on the Fanta example here, where Fanta took their classic bottle and turned it into a fun bubble shooting campaign. And this actually leads us to one of the most prominent examples that we've had in the Meta platforms recently, and that was the Citroen AMI campaign, where Citroen really wanted to differentiate their campaign from a normal car launch campaign. And what they did was they decided to, along with video and branded content and out of home, but really lean into AR and use AR to provide an entertainment-focused and fun way for people to interact with the brand and spend time with the Citroen AMI model, which they wanted to see as a halo model for the entire brand. And they even went a step further by integrating QR codes into their outdoor and out-of-home activity, which allowed people to actually enter the digital space from the real world. And the results were phenomenal. We saw a 10.4 lift in ad recall, which is far higher than the average automotive launch campaign. We saw a 2.6 lift in favorability of Citroen, and that was really the campaign's goal, to be a halo model for the entire brand and not just advertise for the Citroen AMI, which was a really special car. In fact, their tagline was, "This is not a car, it's actually a quadricycle," and see it as a new way for Citroen to move in a different direction. All of which resulted in their most successful campaign on Meta to date, and resulted in several award nominations, including the Campaign 2003 Awards for Best Automotive Campaign. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Santi to talk a bit more about how it was developed.
Thank you. Well, my name is Santiago Anglés. I'm the creative technologist at the Electric Factory, and I'm going to speak a little bit about how we hack the platform. When we speak about hacking the platform, and the Electric Factory is taking opportunity to do things different that are not expected, we are not talking only about the technical part, we are talking about also other lines of thought. Like, we have three main areas that we love to hack. The first one is content. It's about getting technical. It's about getting as much content as we could inside the filter or the social AR. Then engagement, how we interact with the user. We can do things differently. It's a new language, it's a new medium, so we can explore new ways to do things. And the last one is narrative. Like, we don't want to have a repetitive experience. We don't want to have experience that pop-ups and start as soon as you open the experience. We want to build momentum and all that. So we want to explore three of these examples. The first one is AMI, Citroen AMI. We wanted to showcase the different features that the AMI had. So we want to go to a different road. We want to create a game, but we want to feel really challenged by the game. The users will have more engagement if they need to play for real. So in this case, we hack the engagement. We are used to do in social AR super tight experience, like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, so the user could record that. But the idea here is not to tie to that time frame. The idea was to create something simple that the user could explore as much as they like, and they record whatever they want from the experience. So for that, we need the first step is to create a simple gameplay. We have a few seconds to get their attention. So we develop a super simple gameplay. You just tap a piece and it will rotate. You can see on the right that running. And with that simple explanation, we already had the attention of the users. Then we create a real game. There are 3 levels with different looks, one showing different features of the AMI, and we end up creating more than 24 levels for the user. Also, we change perspective, so the user might start in one corner and then start in the other. So we are getting a lot of levels on this experience. But actually, we went even further. We create a different alternative look for each piece. So every time you get into a puzzle, no matter what, if you already experience that, it will look different. So you won't recognize the puzzle, and you will get a different look. Actually, we want also to innovate ourselves and try to push our limits. So this was done all on patch editor, so it was all visual programming. So we need to encode the game inside the patches. So I don't think if it was as easy. I did that. So, but it was a nice experience. We really saw the potential there. But we want to try how to model that in that way. This runs on any phone, no matter what device you have. So we always think on trying to also support lower level devices, so we don't limit the user reach. In this case, this is 4 megabytes, so it's a huge game for 4 megabytes. Then that was hacking the engagement, how we can create something that moves away from the limit of time and how the user play. Then we want to have an example on the content, where we partner with Messenger US to do a filter for the new movie of SpaceJam, and they want to do a 360 background takeover. This was done for the Messenger app, not for Instagram. It was to be used in calls, so it should be super performant. The idea is, if we are going to the Looney Tunes world, they should be animated. So the idea how we can animate everything in the scene while keeping the file size and the performance of being in a call. The difference on a call is that you could be running the effect for 10 minutes. No matter how long you were talking, you should have the same experience. And it has both sides, selfie camera and work camera. And we achieved this. We had 18 animated characters. We developed a shader that displays the pixels in the scene. So each character, you can see on the right, has the animation map that each color changes the movement of the ears, or like the blue part is the breathing of the character. And that will compress a lot. So we end up getting 18 characters animated. The movement was subtle, like challenging you with the ball, breathing, moving the tail, the ears. But the idea was to be super simple. Actually, we also developed that to be easy to create by an artist. So we didn't want to get super technical with that. So the artists just paint what they want to move, and it was super, super easy for them to give life to the world. Then we had 10 animated props that actually are done procedurally. So in that end, also, it doesn't require a lot of processing. And we have background effects like the waterfall and the sky movement there. And actually, for Messenger, we have a different file size limit. For Instagram, for example, it's 4 megabytes. In Messenger, it's 2 megabytes only, and we did that for 1.7 megabytes. So we have a lot of content cramped there, so we can achieve what we want. And then the other one is Talita Hoffman Mural. This was a collaboration with Meta Open Arts. In Brazil, Porto Alegre office, they had a huge mural, and the idea was to intervene the mural with AR. And we saw the opportunity to create not only a single experience, but rather the whole takeover of the mural. So we started thinking about how to do that, how to create different installations, and we create a single filter that has 5 experiences inside, and each experience has a different way of doing AR. So it's a piece of showcase the art, but also showcase the possibilities of AR. Some were more artistic, some you were inside of a park, and others were more like storytelling. For this, also, we use shaders. Shader is one of the tools that we use a lot. And actually, those at the left, you see some sketch for what that's it. That's working like that. We have 5 distinct experience, fully volumetric, let's say. And then we have 8 additional that were like animations on the background, on the wall, let's say. And then in this story that we were telling, that we didn't want to have just the object coming up from the wall. We want to that transformation, that object coming into life to be something to experience itself. So you can see the transition as a storytelling. The tree comes from the wall and creates and transforms into something volumetric. We use shaders to try to accommodate the art of the artist to get the same feeling of the mural into the 3D. And actually, she loved that, and she created additional art that's just for the AR. So the birds are something that she added for the AR because she loved how that looked. And while doing this research, it was during the pandemic. We couldn't move to Brazil to test this out, but we were checking out with some folks there how that looks, and we realized that the floor was reflective. So we end up adding reflection in the floor. So these elements add a story, creates a narrative. You were just looking at something that is 3D. The space was transforming. Elements were coming out of the scene. And actually, there's a little detail that when the tree comes up from the wall, we remove the tree on the wall. So you are seeing the tree actually getting outside of the wall, and we remove that. We saw from videos that people started like seeing that, and then, wait, that tree is not anymore there. So they get amazed that detail that we had in that moment. So we have done this for shader. This like 5 main experience with the other 8 ones was like 3.8 megabytes. We relied a lot of, for this hacks and tricks on shaders. Shaders allow us to get super high-end experience with low power consumption or processing consumption. We see that hardware is announced here everywhere, but we need to think about how to improve in performance so we can add more content. We don't want to add few details that look amazing. We want to add stories. We want to add more content. So the idea is with shaders, we got in the middle between development and art. So that's the way we work. Being in that middle ground where you can create, but also be technical. And sometimes the technical part improves the artistic part. For example, the transition couldn't be done in other way that with shaders, because the tree coming from a plane into with that feeling, it couldn't be done with blend shapes, it couldn't be done with bones, it couldn't be done on other way. So that's the idea, or 3 pillars of thinking. Let me see here. And what we love is constraint. We have a lot of rules and constraints in any platform, and Meta has that size constraint and all that. We love the constraint because that allows us to be creative, try to push the boundaries and all that. But you have a lot of things that are amazing, like instant access. Everyone has access immediately. It's democratized. Oh, sorry, democratized. You have an organic reach if you are clever enough. There is a platform language. Users are used to use the filters, so they end up helping you. If you have some problem, they figure out how this work and try to make that better. But that's the idea. For us, hacking the platform is not just technical, or of course, technical part is super fundamental, but also narrative, the content, try to put all together and think on this medium, on this new language in a different way is an amazing thing. For us, we are super proud of the work we do, but I think that's the idea. I don't know if someone has any question. I don't know, say. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, sorry.
Is that in terms of campaign performance or in terms of technical performance?
That's the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for the factors that you want to improve the performance, are you considering increasing or reducing the latency, or what performance factors do you want to improve on?
For the platform to be better in the performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we saw is that as much as you can move into the GPU, when you are doing shaders, you are using shaders all the time. It's just any material is a shader. If you move that to CPU, you leave the CPU for other things. This platform runs on top of other things like plane detection, face tracking, all that. It's mostly CPU. So if you move your art into the GPU, you are like leaving room for that part that is needed, but you get your art running in parallel. So that for us was a game changer. Once we start doing shaders, I keep running in the office, screaming, shader, 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 everyone laugh at that. But the idea is that we get a super different performance, and we got more room for doing things, like animation by code, optimization. We pack texture all together so we minimize the content. So the idea is we don't really perceive any latency. We are, I think, using the best case scenario on any platform.
What are your tips on having multiple 3D models within just 5 megabytes? How do you, what are your tips on compressing all the textures together, multiple materials and everything into just 5 megabytes?
For us, when we start modeling, sometimes we regroup before we start modeling, so we can think of which tricks we can use. We usually try to minimize bones, blend shapes, and all that. If we can do that with animation by code, with shaders, I will keep saying that word, but that helps you a lot. For example, we are doing right now a forest and moving the trees like this. It should have bones and all that, and bones run on the CPU. So if we are doing vertex shader, you move that to the GPU, and the same answer that today it was like that. And actually, we optimize on sizing sometimes with mirror. Like if you have a model that is the same on both sides, you just export one half and then mirror inside the program. But the idea is that on texture on the other side, we try to pack or make, let's say, make procedural texture inside the program. So if we need a lot of layers, we use a different channel for each layer and then apply some coloring inside the coding. So it's a lot of tricks, but I think you need to think the trick before you model, because the other way around sometimes is quite difficult. But of course, Amy, for example, we didn't use any texture. It was all material that was plain color. So, and we use the shading there, like it comes with the Spark. So some projects really don't need that amount of quality control, let's say, the quality of the asset, let's say. But we always try to achieve the best quality possible. That's for sure.
Time for one more question.
Thank you. Very interesting. It looked like every one of your experiences was single player. Do you have ideas about how to incorporate multiplayer, or what the challenges are for that?
Yeah, with multiplayer, for us, is the only caveat is how you can create something that is transparent, immediate, the user understands immediately, and how to avoid lag. We saw a lot of experience that lagging in 3D is like it's impossible to track, and when you do like physics or real time, it's quite challenging. We have done some projects of that, and it's a headache. But we end up, when we do multiplayer experiences, we try to create a shared space, not a game, not a challenge, a shared space. So no matter what you do, you still experience the game or the art that's there, but you can collaborate in that shared user content, let's say. We did one for Christmas during the pandemic that it was for Cosmopolitan, that you had a glass of champagne, and when you hit your head, your glass come up on the other screen on the other user and did a cheer. So that moment didn't quite need real-time syncing. It was just a trigger that modified the pace of the other user, so you feel the connection there. That's for experiences that are quite simple, or let's say that we need to engage with the user super quickly. When we are doing a full-fledged game, that's a different discussion. But for this one, we try a lot of things, and I think that part is the best suite for the plan. It's immediate, and they feel connected immediately also. Okay, right. Thank you, everyone.
Right, thank you.